Hello everyone and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name's Brian if you're new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, you sexy beast. That's what you get for subscribing, by the way. Free compliments at the start of these videos. Today we're going to do a deep dive into the Blunderbuss. The Blunderbuss has two skill trees, just like every weapon in the game. The Containment skill tree and the Chaos skill tree. We're going to do a full skill overview highlighting each of the abilities, their various augments, and then I'm going to give a little bit more thoughts as to how the job it really plays. And I say job because that's because I love and play Final Fantasy 14. One thing that you'll for sure notice right away is the Blunderbuss actually has two shots loaded in its container that you fire back to back. You cannot reload between, but you have actually a nice little spread, and you can see here as it hits the target, you get a lot of damage when you're up close and personal. This feels really good, and for a job that's got a lot of mobility, you're going to find that this weapon really does bring a lot to the table. But now let's talk about augmenting it with our various skills. For this video, we're going to focus in on the Containment tree first, and then we're going to jump into the Chaos tree, and you'll actually see how these skills unlocked. It's a little bit different on Chaos, and maybe it'll make more sense when we dive in. But first and foremost, you've got Net Shot, you've got Claw Shot, and you've got Azoth Shrapnel Blast. For the net shot, this is going to be a large-sized net projectile that fires out of your gun, dealing 40% weapon damage, and if the net is it hits anybody, it's going to slow that person by 40% for 2.5 seconds. This will get enhanced with fast hands. If you hit somebody, you're going to reduce your cooldown by 20%. You have apparatus. When the net inflicts now 50% slow that degrades normal move speed over 5 seconds. And then you have barbed netting. The net shot's initial hit reduces to 5% weapon damage. However, the net now actually deals 35% additional weapon damage as poison for each 3 seconds. For the net shot, though, note that if you are standing still or moving backwards, you're going to get a recoil from the shot, knocking you further back, but moving side to side and forwards is not going to impact or hinder your movement. For the claw shot, you shoot forward a 4-pronged claw that attaches to a chain from the muzzle. This projectile will travel up to 14 meters and cannot pull you upwards more than 3 meters. If it connects with the enemy, it will deal 40% weapon damage and inflict root for 1 second before quickly pulling you towards them. The pull can be canceled by any ability use or primary fire. This is also a taunt gem compatible weapon or skill slot, so that way you could actually use this to try to build out a tank. You can enhance this with in and out. Upon usage, restore 8 stamina for every second for 10 seconds. You can have combat readiness. Landing a pellet, even if blocked, lowers the cooldown of this ability by 2% each. Then you have mobile overload. Successful landing a claw shot will automatically grant you 1 loaded ammunition. If you currently have 2 loaded ammunition, this will exceed the max cap and grant you a 3rd. So you actually would have 3 shots to play around with for containment. The third skill, Azoth Shrapnel Blast. This is going to fire 5 shots in a horizontal fan in front of you. While pushing yourself backwards, each shot will deal 58% weapon damage. Every consecutive hit on the same target will deal 15% less damage than the previous hit. You can then have reach, increase the range of this attack from 12 meters to 16 meters. You then can have discord, not the program, but a skill in this case. This is going to have fire 4 additional pellets with each use of this ability. Then you have refresh. Each individual hit from this ability from the Blunderbuss primary fire will lower the cooldown of this ability by 1.5%. And then finally, Azoth Bomb. Fire a singular bomb down the center of the fan. This bomb will implant itself into the world and explode, dealing 100% damage in a 3-meter area after a 0.5 second delay. So this is where you get this and a bomb, which is really actually kind of cool when you think about it. The other enhancements you can have is future endeavors. If you land 5 or more pellets on a single shot, restore 1 stamina per pellet hit. You have ramp. Reload gives you damage boost for 4% for 6 seconds, and it stacks up to 4 times. Fortifying aggression. Successful hits with 3 meters grants fortify, increasing damage absorption by 10% for 2 seconds. Run and gun. Reload gives you a speed boost of 40% that decays over 1 second. Then you have deep load. This last shot loaded into the Blunderbuss will do 15% increased damage. And your ultimate for containment is going to be unload. The next shot fired within 6 seconds after triggering an ability will have 9 pellets instead of 6. This effect can actually stack up to 2 times. and actually unlock chaos. As I unlock these various skills, you can see here you'll end up using a couple of different points in this case already to unlock your third skill. You might not like that, and so it might be more recommended to focus in on containment first and have more of your points available, so that way you actually can unlock more of these skills and go from there. But we'll just go ahead and unlock all of our chaos skills and points, and let's go through it. First and foremost, you have splitting grenade. This is going to shoot a grenade out of the blunderbuss that will bounce up to 4 times and detonate after 1.5 seconds. The splitting grenade can also manually detonate by reactivating this ability key at any time. Upon detonation, it will create 3 mini grenades that will disperse and explode 1 second after landing, dealing 85% weapon damage in a 3-meter area. Each successful grenade hit of the same target deals 40% less base damage. You also have mortar charge, and this is where things get really cool. You load the blunderbuss with a heavy canisters for the next 15 seconds or 3 shots. Shots will no longer fire multiple pellets, but instead fire a heavy, fast diving mortar style canister that causes a tall explosion upon impact, dealing 126% weapon damage in a 3-meter area. If the target is 10 meters away or further, they will take 35% increased damage from the mortar. And then finally, we have blast shot. Blast immersive wind down the blunderbuss, knocking down targets and immediately in front of you. The blast shot also deals 70% weapon damage. Now, let's go ahead and augment our abilities here, starting with splitting grenade. You have soften, deals 25% increased damage to targets greater than 50% health. You also then have delayed escape. A grenade hit grants haste, increasing movement speed by 20% for 3 seconds. Multiple hits will refresh the duration when they hit. And then you have incendiary bursts. Splitting grenade explosions inflict burn on hit, dealing 10% weapon damage per second for 10 seconds, and they can stack up to 3 times. For your mortar charge, you can augment it with steady. Each hit grants 7 stamina. You have freedom. Each shot fired gain a burst of 50% movement speed with decays in a power over 3 seconds. And then finally, streak. Gain an extra canister that you can now fire up to 4 shots. Additionally, each mortar charge will hit increased damage from future mortar charges hits in the next 6 seconds by 10%, and it's going to give you a max of 30% for that. Then for your blast shot, you can augment this with preparation. Blast shot readies rend, or applies rend, increases damage applied to all targets afflicted by this ability for 20% for 6 seconds. And then you have lingering flow. The area 10 meters in front of you remains influenced by wind for the next 8 seconds, and you and your allies gain 25% more move speed bonus when in the area. So those are the augments for those abilities. Let's look at our other passives. You have on a roll. Triggering an ability decreases all damage taken by 3% for 10 seconds, and that can stack up to 5 times. You also have future planning. Using the ability reduces all other ability cooldowns by 4% for the remaining time. You have bite back. Every pellet that is a headshot reduces all cooldowns by 0.5%. You also have the ability of extended chamber. Holding onto 2 loaded ammunition for 2 seconds after a reload will load in a 3rd active ammunition. You have buckshot, deals 10% increased damage to any target as long as you have not damaged them in the last 8 seconds. You have artillery, direct damage from abilities as increased by 15% if the victim is 10 meters or further away. You have last chance. Whenever you take a hit and your health is below 50%, gain 50% damage reduction for 4 seconds. And that's got a 30-second cooldown on that one. And then your ultimate double down. Once every 30 seconds, your next ability used will have its cooldown reduced by 50%. And just to highlight that passive with the 3-shot. Now, if I just kind of let him chase me around, all of a sudden, I've now got 3 shots to work with. But like I said, there's no way that you can actually manually reload, at least at the time of this recording. So you've got a lot to play around with and a lot to have fun. Hopefully you guys check out the Blunderbuss when it launches into the main game. If you can't wait to and want to check it out for yourself, you can just download the PTR and go nuts and start playing around. Start your theory crafting in terms of builds and what kind of different weapons this might stack off of. Now, I did say we were going to talk a little bit about stats at the start of this video. Let's go ahead and jump into our attributes. You can see the Blunderbuss is actually a strength-based weapon. Strength and intelligence. You'll find it listed here. That means it's got a 0.9 multiplier on strength and a 0.65 multiplier on intelligence. So this is a weapon that really will bring in a lot of different build flexibility for you as a player, and I think that's really interesting to see how that's going to play out and what things that people are going to come up with and build on their own. Hopefully this guide's been informative. Hopefully you've gotten something good from it. If you guys have, let me know. If you feel like I earned it, hit that like button, and hopefully hit that subscribe button. Come back and check out my other videos, live streams, and so much more. Thanks so much for your time. Hopefully you have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with the clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.